Hey, what's up, guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, Spencer Monroe was a character that was in seasons 5, 6, and 7 of The Walking Dead. He was a member of the Alexandria Safe Zone. He was one of the two sons of Deanna Monroe, who was the leader of Alexandria. But eventually, Rick pretty much became the leader of Alexandria. And Spencer is a character that was in the comics, and his story arc is pretty close to the comics. It's pretty much the same big parts. I mean, there's a few differences in the comics. He has a relationship with Andrea, who obviously he can't have in the show because she's dead in the show, but they kind of remix it. He meets Sasha and tries to get to know her, but that doesn't really work out, and he ends up sleeping with Rosita. And basically, with Spencer, he's a character that a lot of people don't like because he doesn't really like Rick. He messes with Rick, and that makes a lot of fans mad, which I understand, but I didn't completely hate him. Like, I feel sorry for him a little bit, just a little bit, because in the very short span of time, he loses his brother, his mother, and his father. And I mean, that could mess anyone up. I mean, that could really mess anyone up. Not just losing all of those people, but losing all of those people really quickly. And that's what happens to him. I mean, he's a decent guy. I mean, he kind of has a charm to him, and he has an okay personality. I mean, he does have problems with wanting to, like, when things go wrong and you have to, like, give up your supplies and your food and your drinks and stuff, and you kind of have to do what's best for the community. He hides food and drinks for himself. I mean, he's kind of selfish in that way. He hides stuff. When Negan and the Saviors took over and they started demanding supplies to be given to them every week, Spencer hid stuff in his house because he didn't want to give stuff away. So yeah, I mean, he is crappy in that way, but I also kind of feel sorry for him just because he lost his entire family. And at first, back in season 5, he's just in this place with these walls, and he doesn't really know how the real world is, like most people at Alexandria before Rick's group come in. They don't know how to deal with walkers. They don't know how to survive. They're still living like the world never ended. And Rick's group, they have to come in, they have to teach them and change them and teach them how to adapt and become proper survivors. And, you know, Rick, he's like, look at it from Spencer's perspective. Rick, you know, he points a gun at everyone. He threatens Deanna. And during season 7, his character, well, in the first half of season 7, before he dies, his character gets a bigger role, and he starts to clash with Rick. And basically, once Negan and the Saviors take over, Spencer blames Rick. I mean, it is Rick's fault. Rick was the one that led them to that one compound and killed all those people, some of which were probably fairly innocent people. I mean, they might have been saviors, but you know, they were just people. They were just trying to live and sleeping in their beds, and Rick's group slaughtered them. And Spencer does make a couple of decent points during season 7. Rick was too cocky. He was too cocky in season 6. He was way too cocky in season 6. I remember watching season 6 when it was first airing live, and I was like, man, he's a little too cocky. I mean, if he's not careful, he's going to get my favorite characters killed. And then he got Abraham and Glenn killed, you know? So it's just like, yeah, I mean, I know he felt bad about it and he cried and everything, but, yeah, you know. And Spencer and Gabriel have a conversation about it, and Spencer brings up the fact that, well, you know, things are really bad right now because Rick brought those people to the compound and slaughtered everyone, and Gabriel gets really mad. Like, he just starts yelling at Spencer because it's kind of true. I mean, he kind of made a point there. I mean, you know, I like Rick. Rick's one of my favorite characters. He's an awesome lead character, but he did make some mistakes. And Spencer sleeps with Rosita because Rosita gets dumped by Abraham. So Rosita kind of goes through a bit of a difficult time because she's just basically, she doesn't want to fall in love. She just kind of sleeps with Spencer and sort of uses him. I mean, she later tells him that she uses him. And one of the things I did like about Spencer was that he and Rosita had a lot of scenes together, and Rosita's kind of hateful to him a lot, and he just kind of takes it like he's okay with it. He's not mean to Rosita. Like he seems like someone who's not mean to women, and that's something that I kind of respect. And he does end up getting himself killed because when Negan and the Savior show up for their pickup, he talks to Negan and tries to impress Negan and says, you know, you should replace Rick with me as the leader. I should be the leader. And Negan sees right through him and it's just like, no, you're weak. You waited until Rick was gone. You know, he's out getting stuff for me. You know, he hates me, but he's swallowing his pride and he's out getting stuff for me, and you're just wanting to be leader, and you waited for him to be gone so you could talk to me, and you don't have guts. And then Negan pretty much disembowels him and kills him. And it's the same death as the comics. He dies the same way. A lot of Negan's lines are the same right before he kills him. But the difference between the comics and the TV show is that I feel like in the show, Spencer does have some redeeming qualities. His character is somewhat sympathetic. And, I mean, he's just someone who had a lot of bad things happen to him really, really fast. And he just didn't handle it like he should. And in the comics, Spencer, he's just a straight-up jerk, and he just straight-up wants Rick to die. He wants Negan to kill Rick. And in the show, I kind of got the impression that he didn't want Rick to get killed. He just wanted Rick to be... He didn't want Rick to be the leader. He wanted to become the leader, and he got ahead of himself because he has this moment where he goes out and he kills walkers and he gets supplies, and then he impresses the saviors. So he's done this thing that makes him feel good about himself, but he just goes too overboard with it. And I mean, he might have just really been an idiot. He might have really just truly deserved to die. I don't know if, had he survived this death, would he have grown? Would he have learned? Would he have realized that Rick wasn't that bad? Or was he just someone that needed to die? I don't really know. I do think that his character is a little bit more likable in the show than in the comics, but as far as his death goes, I do like it. I like the end of his story. I like the death. It's a big moment in the comics, and it was one that I was always excited for. And I do like his death. I do think that it's a cool death. His character was pretty much done. There wasn't much left to do with him. I really didn't need Spencer to be in all-out war or for him to redeem himself. I think that his story was over. His story arc was complete. And it was just one of those deaths that it's from the comics and it's a cool death and it should have been kept the same way, and I don't think he needed to live longer. I liked his death and I think it works, and it's a cool part of season 7, and I don't think he needed to live longer. So overall, I don't hate him as much as some people do. I don't think he's the biggest piece of crap in the whole show or anything. I think he was just a guy that made some mistakes and was stupid and had some issues and had some problems that he needed to work on, and he probably just didn't have enough time to work on them. But I mean, it was his fault that Negan killed him. He shouldn't have been messing with Rick so much. He shouldn't have been trying to overthrow Rick as a leader. He was just in way over his head. But I don't think he was like an evil person or a super, super bad person or anything. So I think his character was sympathetic, but I still like his death. So overall, I don't think he needed to live longer. I do like his death, and I think his story was over. So he's not a character that I would have wanted to keep alive longer. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Right now we are at 736 subscribers. My goal is to try to get to 800 in the next few months. So just remember, every subscriber counts, every bit of support matters and is very, very appreciated. Hopefully we can get to that goal of 800. Anyway, with all that said, I am Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.